The last thing we need, and I know it's going to sound a little bit obvious, is a strong military. You've got the economy to pay for a war that can produce all of these goods because we have a strong labor force, a happy labor force, and we've got a willing public, a public that says, dude, let's go fight this war. Let's round up these Germans. Let's make it happen. Now we actually need the strong military. So you're going to see about 2 million men actually volunteer for this war, and that's a lot of people saying, yo, hey you, sign me up. I want to go fight in that war. And we're going to draft another 1.8 million men. So we're talking almost 4 million people are going to be fighting this war. And a draft, by the way, is when you are randomly selected for military service, and you can see that right here in your notes. 400,000 African Americans are going to be drafted. Now, I want you to stop and think about this, right? African Americans are the target of incredible prejudice in 1914. We still segregate, we still lynch, we still treat people brutally, we barely pay them. They're only now just moving north in the Great Migration to work in factories. Prior to that, they're sharecroppers in the South, terribly impoverished. And now we're drafting them to go fight for our country? What? On top of it, we say, oh, African American guy, you get to serve in a racially segregated unit. That means a white guy is going to lead you because we don't think you're smart enough to lead yourself. To the credit of African Americans, they serve with incredible distinction. In fact, some of their units, like the Harlem Hellfighters, are the most feared units in the American Army. Good for them, because honestly, if you told me that was the gig I was getting into, pay me less, treat me worse, never even going to go. Last big thing that I want to take a look at here is that we don't just limit this to people that volunteer or people that are drafted, not even if we treat them poorly like we do with African Americans. We also, for the first time ever, begin to really accept women into the armed forces. Officially, non-combat positions, mostly nursing, mostly clerical. But what's important here is that for the first time ever, the Navy actually enlists women. Women can officially join the Navy. That's a really big freaking deal for women's rights. But that smartness, bringing in women, drafting African Americans, even if we're not treating them fairly, is going to allow us to have a very strong military, one that's capable of changing and turning the tide in World War I in Europe. And so we'll finish there with that, and we'll talk more about the actual war tomorrow.